There have been some hard truths. There have been some hard truths for the 49ers this season, and one of those is when they need Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the ball to win, they lose. So the team won week 2 when they asked him to throw the ball 30 times. That was against the Eagles, but since then, it's been all downhill. Against Packers, 40 attempts, lost. The first outing against the Seahawks, he had 23 attempts in the first half, and they lost. The next outing against the Colts in a monsoon, 27 attempts, another loss. Week 9 versus the Cardinals, 40 attempts, you guessed it, lost. And then finally, this past game against the Seahawks, 30 attempts for Jimmy and another loss. And why? Why is the question. Why does a team struggle when Jimmy has to throw? And that's what I want to find out. That answer will be solved today. So we know Jimmy's inconsistent, and the issue is it's not just when he throws the ball. This is a prime example. I think he actually does a really good job of standing tall in the pocket. Too often you see quarterbacks, when they have a clean pocket like this, they would bail and they would eliminate half of the field. So let's say if he were to roll to the right, he would eliminate all of these routes to the left. If he were to roll to the left, he would eliminate these 2 routes to the bottom of the screen. In this case, in this scenario, knowing that nobody's open, there's nothing that he can do here, and he did this later in the game, I'd like to see Jimmy move, use his legs. This pressure, this quarterback hit is on the quarterback only because he's standing there, not because he doesn't do what he's supposed to do as far as throwing the ball, that he doesn't force it, but he is a mobile quarterback in the sense that he can move. He's a better athlete than given credit for, and we see that later on in the game, but it's just too inconsistent, and it doesn't show up here. So cement feet, that can happen, and he just needs to move a little bit. All right, this is the touchdown to George Kittle, the first one, and this is probably why it's so frustrating to watch Jimmy. This is why it's frustrating to watch the offense, because this is what the 49ers would look like if they throw the ball down the field. We pointed out week after week that receivers are open down the field. The quarterback just needs to hit him. That happens here, and you can see just the way that the safety plays. They don't even expect Jimmy to throw the ball. Watch him. He's not paying attention to the backside. He's just focused on the underneath routes because that's where normally the ball goes. So just really good throw here. Good route, good concept. So they're just going to high-low, and this offense is predicated on that. They're going to high-low you to death, and too often that high option is left wide open. Hits it here, touchdown. All right, this is the turnover. First turnover to Bobby Wagner, underneath interception. Again, something that it feels like we talk about every week, and I know it's probably exhausting to hear about, but if he stops doing this, I will not have to talk about it. So the real issue here is, and we can let it play out, so he's not even acknowledging the underneath defender. He's not even acknowledging that there are other players on the field other than his receivers, and I think that's where the root of the problem is when we're talking about just the quarterback in general. You can see his eyes from this angle where he's just looking at the crossing route. He's not acknowledging, he's not seeing the defender on the other side. Like, there are defenders on the field. You're not practicing on air, and as usually is the case, gets burned by it. So watch his helmet. He's only looking at him, thinking that, hey, nobody else is there. Let me lead him. Sure enough, leads him right to number 54, Bobby Wagner. So I don't even think this is like a great play by Wagner. He doesn't do anything fancy. Gets back to his drop-off play action, runs right to him, reads his eyes. Same thing every week. All right, so here we are. This is going to be a wheel route, really well dressed up, really well designed. So you have man coverage, Kyle Juszczyk, Jamal Adams. He cannot cover. Everybody in the world knows it. Everybody in the NFL knows it. You can take advantage of him. So what do the 49ers do? They give a little run action, suck 33 up, and from there, like right here, if you pause it, that amount of separation should be a walk-in touchdown. They're going to run a post to the receiver right here. So everything is cleared out. All you have to do is just hit the receiver. He has to lay out for it. Look at that right there. That type of extension tells you how inaccurate the pass is. It seems like a lot of times in these cases, because it does feel like Jimmy misses his throw, and this should be a layup for any quarterback, but it just seems like he's babying it, he's aiming it, instead of just letting it loose, letting it fly. Just throw it. And usually when that's the case, you do miss like that. But this can't happen, man. This should be a walk-in touchdown. So as you can see, it's 7-7. The 49ers should take the lead with this because perfect time for a shot play right in between the 40 and the 50. Defense doesn't know it's coming. First down, you've been running the ball all day on first down. You decide to take a shot, set up perfectly. Everything works. They miss. All right, when you miss throws, other people are affected, and other people start to show their frustrations when you miss throws. None other than Brandon Aiyuk. He's worn his emotions on his sleeves all season, essentially. So I mentioned how this is a high-low offense, and by that I mean, let's just use these for example. Let's say he runs here. He runs a short route. The other guy will run a deeper route. Similarly, in this scenario, George Kittle is going to run just like a little curl route right here and bend it in. On the other side, the high-low, Aiyuk is going to run a little 5-step glance, post, slant, whatever you want to call it. So to understand what the defense is going to do or what the offense should do, let's look at what the defense does. So first, we're just going to run it. Watch the play unfold. So on the surface, it looks like a drop from George Kittle, right? And 1st and 20, probably not going to go too, 5-6 yards? But that works. The issue is the defense that's ran, and Jimmy, again, just not acknowledging the defense, predetermining what he wants to do. So this defense is cover 3. Very simple. How do I know that? Just by the drops of the linebackers, they will tell you. So Bobby Wagner has to go with the motion. The running back is pushing him to the flat. So he is the strong hook defender. This is Jamal Adams. He is the weak hook defender. The weak hook defender will tell you where to go in this play. So as he's the weak hook defender, that means he's driving down. He's on the weak side of the formation, and he is responsible for just this area right here. He drives on the route. That means you have Brandon Aiyuk one-on-one with a linebacker. I don't care who that linebacker is. The Bobby Wagner that you are familiar with is not the same Bobby Wagner today. Even if it is, you still take that matchup with Brandon Aiyuk. So what the drop should be is you check out here. He's driving on that. All right, great. He drove on the route. I can come back, hit Brandon Aiyuk, have a big play. We never get to that point because the quarterback doesn't identify the defense. And that is the big issue. Look, again, you'll see it from this angle. He's only watch his helmet. He's only watching Kittle. He has no idea where Adams is right now. He doesn't know that Adams is driving on this route, and that is an issue. If he's reading the defender instead, he would see him flat-footed, driving, and then he'll be able to easily go across the field to Aiyuk. And you'll see a little bit at the end here, Aiyuk's frustration come out. And, he has every right to be because he should be heavily involved, especially with Debo out. But watch him at the end of the play. Arm just kind of go down to the side, lifts his head up oh, here we go. There it is. Yeah, I feel him, man, because he's a really good player, and we just don't have a chance to see that because he's not really getting an opportunity to prove it or showcase himself. All right, 3rd and 7, and every now and then the defense is going to get pressure. It is okay to give the defense credit because they get paid too. So in this case, Jimmy does use his legs. He does extend the play. He does a great job of feeling the pressure. So he's going to come unblocked from the edge, and that's by design because they're going to have Juszczyk come across the formation to try to block him. Here's how it works out. Kittle's a little late to recognize it. Juice finds him. Jimmy feels the pressure, moves just enough to the right without running into this guy right here. Keeps his eyes down the field. Leads Sherfield. 3rd and 7. First down. That is how you play quarterback. That is a really nice play. Again, I think he's much more mobile than given credit for. And I think now that we're, past the ankle, the ACL, that he can do a better job of running, of using his mobility. But that was a really good play. By extending drives, now that you made a play, you allow your playmakers to make a play. And that is exactly what happened here. So Jimmy gets credit for the yards here, but Kittle, Jennings, Aiyuk with a little block right there. Tightrope down the sideline for a long touchdown run. This has nothing to do with anything. I just want to show you how impressive it is that George Kittle is running away from a DB right here. So he has an angle. You would think that he's able to catch up to him, but you cannot teach this kind of thing. 85, very fast. Great effort by Jennings after the ball is caught. Block, DJ Reed. that's about as good as it gets effort-wise from Jennings. Great athletic play from Kittle. But again, this doesn't happen if Jimmy doesn't extend the play before. So good on him. Good on the offense for making a play. Good on them for getting the ball to their best players, and it worked. All right, this is a safety, and this is pretty brutal from Tom Compton. So Jimmy's taking a 5-step drop by the time he gets to the top of his drop. So by the time he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and looks up, hitches, and gets ready to throw, there is a guy in his face because he gets bowled over. And the discourse around offensive line is never good just because we only talk about these plays. We're not going to talk about the time where the offensive line picks up a blitz. Jimmy finds Aiyuk wide open on 3rd and 5 on the next possession, and they're able to, keep the drive, sustain the drive. But in this case, it's just rough because why wouldn't you play the rookie? Because he's a big, strong athlete. He's going to make mistakes, but we know this guy is not a part of the future, for one, and he just hasn't done enough to prove that, he's worthy of playing. So I know Jalen Moore did make some mistakes, but he's a rookie. That's always going to happen. That is tough. That is not good. So look how late he is to get his hands on the defender, shoot his hands, and not much Jimmy can do there. I saw people saying that Jimmy can't take the sack. This is on him. Not sure what you want him to do here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the time his back foot hits, there's 2 guys in his face. Again, this is an anomaly, but tough to overcome those type of plays. All right, score is 23-23 right now. 49ers have just showed the safety that they gave up. They have also missed an extra point, so there's 3 points right there. They have also allowed a special teams touchdown, so right there, it's crazy just reeling off all the mess ups that they had. But special teams touchdown, so 3 + 7, that is now 10 points in a 7-point loss, and that is disregarding all the other blunders like a kick return fumbled. But okay, tie ball game after all of that, and still here we are. So let's just let the play run, and we will talk about it because this is first down from a 30-year-old quarterback in a divisional game in the midst of a playoff run. Wow. Where is he going? And there's a few mistakes here, but after the game, Jimmy said he should have thrown the check down. And a lot of people want him to throw the over route, which I get. But the real issue here is, again, just acknowledging where the ball is supposed to go, acknowledging the defense, and making up your mind pre-snap where you want to go. The weak hook player in any defense will tell you where to go with the football. Watch him. Watch what he does, and he will tell you where to go. So both of these guys are going to run over routes, through routes. Bobby Wagner is coming flat. Watch, you can tell by the way he's opening up, he's coming this way. That should tell you have enough space to layer the ball over and hit Sherfield. He is running out, so he is not in the picture. Just sells it. He was going to Kittle as soon as the ball was snapped, and that's the real issue. I will say, Sherfield, who did not play a good game at all, he was actually brutal. I don't think he runs this right. So the way that we do it is, I'll show you once the play goes. He has to go under the first linebacker, over the second linebacker. And I've done this with 2 different teams, and I've never seen the 49ers actually run this, so I can't say. But, I'm pretty sure Sherfield messes up here. And the reason I think that is because look at the spacing right now. In what world would you have both wide receivers running outside of the outside linebacker? Just from a spacing standpoint, and that's why you do it. That's why you go under, then over, and then Kittle goes over, because you want to take the attention, go underneath, hope he sucks up, leaving him open, and then if he ends up staying with you or if he drops, they're going to be wrong either way. But Sherfield goofs here. That doesn't help. That doesn't excuse the throw at all, because he was going to Kittle, as you can see there. Watch Jimmy's helmet. He was going to Kittle no matter what. He's only acknowledging Kittle. Again, he's not looking at the defense. For a 30-year-old, that is a problem. Play design is why you have my permission to slap anybody who ever says to fire Kyle Shanahan. This play design is phenomenal. So what they're going to do is they're going to bring Trent Sherfield in motion, and he's going to run up the sideline to hold the cornerback. They are also going to bring Kyle Juszczyk coming across the line of scrimmage to block, as he does, and instead They're going to fake the play action, fake the run action, and Juice is going to run up the seam. So effectively, you have just two verticals, and it's just going to come down to Kyle Juszczyk winning one-on-one. If that does not work out, you have George Kittle fake blocking, and he's a check down, and Brandon Aiyuk as the backside dig. So a lot going on. Watch it unfold. Really good pass from Jimmy Garoppolo. The question that I have is this sustainable? And why not work to the backside dig? Because if you're comfortable with him throwing back shoulders all day, if Jimmy wants to throw back shoulders all day, to me, I love it. Throw it all day because it's open, it's very difficult to defend, and they have good players, so they should do it more. But we haven't seen this enough, which is why, again, the process is what I'm worried about. So, like, really good pass. He throws Juice open on this play because he is not open. What elite quarterbacks do, like a Justin Herbert, and I'm not going to say like a Joe Burrow, but even like the younger quarterbacks will do this where get to the top of their drop, realize that, hey, he might not be open because safety's coming down. You know, Kyle Juszczyk is not a speedy guy. If he's not open, we can work backside, and I have the entire field. Like, look at the depth that he's at. There's no way he's making the play. Plenty of separation. Every week, and I'm sure I could pull clips that backside dig, second best route in football after the post. It's always open. Would love to see that ball thrown. Mainly because it's Brandon Aiyuk, and I want to get him involved. My first round receiver that I traded up for. I want to find ways to get him the ball, but I really don't have an issue if they're going to continue to throw this. The issue is always just acknowledging the defense. But, I mean, the ball couldn't have been thrown any better. We always talk about when his back is to you, he can only defend like this little square of where his head is. So, great pass. Is it sustainable? One of the big questions that everybody has is, like, why doesn't Trey Lance play? Where is he at? I think the 49ers, they're just in too deep right now with Jimmy, and they're in week 14. You're not going to change your entire offense to play the rookie. So Jimmy's going to play, but I think the real reason is Kyle trusts Jimmy in a 2-minute situation, knowing they are down. They can run their entire offense. Jimmy's very effective. So my pushback on Shanahan would be, why don't we see more up-tempo? Like, why does it have to come down to the final minute of the half, final minute of the game situations, for them to spread it around, for them to play with pace? Because when you play with pace, the defense can only run so many coverages when you hurry up to the line. That's why they're so effective doing it. On this play, we see Jimmy being mobile. So it's first down. He doesn't like what he sees. Nobody's open. Gets to the top of his drop, climbs a pocket, and eventually just takes off. That's great right here. See it from the end zone view? This is quick processing. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't like what he sees. He's aggressive. Like, his mindset changes when they go in this hurry up tempo as well. I think that really helps. Of course, as you saw, 1st and 20, there's a holding call. Again, the process is what we're worried about here. So that was great from Jimmy, and I'd love to see more of it. All right, so on this play, I think this is the best play of the game from Jimmy. So unblocked defenders are impossible. And the guys that are beating unblocked defenders, like the Lamars, that is rare. Like, we can't count on that because that doesn't happen often. So right here, what's going to happen is there has to be some type of bust up front. And let's see what the Seahawks bring. Okay, no, it's not a bust. They just bring more than the 49ers have to block. When that's the case, you either have to get rid of it hot, and these are the hot receivers down here. Again, so if they bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have 5 to block, that means somebody is open. So the quarterback is responsible for the extra defender. He doesn't turn to where the hot receivers are, which is probably a problem, but he makes up for it by making the unblocked defender miss. If this was a sack, this would be on Jimmy. Watch what he does. Little pump fake, gets him up in the air, extends a play, takes the hit. That is a great play. By extending the play, obviously they get a flag afterwards because Sherfield, he was rough. So his eyes ideally would probably go to his check down, to his swing, because it's 1-on-2 on that backside. But I thought that was just a really good play of creating something out of nothing, because this play is dead in the water right here. But This is creative. A little pump fake to get him in the air. Takes the hit. Might as well complete it if you know you're going to take a lick. And they would have got the first down if... Oh, 81. So I ruffled some feathers on the internet, apparently, because I didn't think this third down call was pass interference. And you can usually tell when it's pass interference based on the reaction of the players. You can see Sherfield just kind of gets up and just walks back to the huddle like nothing happens. They were wrestling this entire play with each other. People mentioned that they were holding Sherfield's arm down. Well, that's because he was leaning into him and trying to box him out like a basketball player. So when they're doing that the whole time, the refs are just never going to call that. And someone else said, well, they would have called that on Josh Norman. Well, yeah, of course, because Josh Norman has a reputation of holding. That's not apples to apples comparison. So let me get to that 3rd and goal play. Here we go. So Sherfield's at the top of the screen. Here he is right here. And honestly, this is a great process play from Jimmy. So he's looking to the left. He wants to either hit him or Kittle underneath. Doesn't like what he sees. Comes to the right, and watch when he throws this ball. As soon as he's not even open right now. He's barely getting his head around, and Jimmy's already releasing the ball. Like, that is high-level quarterbacking right there. I thought he puts the ball in a great spot for Sherfield to catch the ball. As you can see, they're both tied up right now. In my opinion, outside of anything else, this is a touchdown. Like, you have to catch the ball. We've seen Debo, Aiyuk, Kittle make these type of plays. I think the biggest drawback for me with Sherfield has been, like, he's tough, but he's just not very physical. I think he struggles with contact. I mean, he was struggling blocking all day, but in my opinion, that has to be a catch. That has to be a touchdown. This is a great pass, great process from the quarterback. But you saw Alex Mack ask for a flag after the play. You can see Sherfield just kind of get up and look around, but he knows what he did. He knows he was pushing. Of course he wants a flag, but walks back. Nothing happened. And then 4th down, Sherfield's open. I mean, ideally, on 4th down, you're not relying on him, but this is really just a hat tip. In most instances, batted passes are quarterback stat, but the ball has to be out. Look where they are. They're on the 4-yard line. Ball has to be out quick. You have to look where you're going because it's a timing play. So it's okay to acknowledge that the defense makes good plays, and this is all Carlos Dunlap right here. If you look at the bottom of the screen, high-low, DJ Reed actually messes up and goes with the flat route as he does. So if he looks left, he has Aiyuk, but I mean, that's as Monday morning quarterback as it gets. Garoppolo goes to the right spot. Sherfield's open for a touchdown. Kyle Shanahan said he would have gone for 2. Like right here, his back is turned. He doesn't go with the receiver. He's occupied. Like, this is an easy touchdown if you catch the ball, but it's just tipped. So about as anticlimactic as it gets that we don't get a chance to see the play unfold. But it was a struggle. Jimmy was cold at first. I thought he played really well in the 2-minute drill. I would like to see more of that because I think we say that often where, when they play with pace, when they open it up, when they play fast, he plays well. It's those underneath defenders. It's locking on to defenders. It's not acknowledging the weak side of the defense. And, I mean, it's not changing. It's probably not going to change because of that. It's going to be tough to win knowing that if they get behind like this, I don't know if the 49ers will be able to overcome.